Good morning, everyone. So, on the occasion of World Heritage Week, our very own Heritage Society Patna, in collaboration with Sheodeni Sao College, a constituent unit of Magad University, Bodh Gaya, brings to you its very first academic session on the topic of uniqueness of Bihar heritage. मैं लक्ष्मण शंकर खान हेरिटेज सोसाइटी पटना की ओर से आप सभी का इस खूबसूरत और सीख से भरे सेशन में स्वागत करती हूँ। सेशन को शुरू करने से पहले मैं आप सभी दर्शकों से अनुरोध करती हूँ कि आपका जो भी विचार, सुझाव या प्रश्न हो, उसे कमेंट बॉक्स में लिखें ताकि हमारे स्पीकर्स उन्हें पढ़ सके और आपका जवाब दे सकें। Now to begin our session, I invite our first speaker, Dr. Arabinda Singh Roy, Assistant Professor at Maulana Abul Kalam Azad University, West Bengal, to present their paper on Bihar beyond Nalanda and Vikramshila, Hidden Heritage Site Yet to be Documented. Sir, please continue.
Thank you, Manu. Thank you. Thanks a lot. So, Honorable Chair, expected scholar, distinguished guest, and dear participants. So, I like thanks everyone and very good afternoon. So, I thanks the organizer for inviting me to speak on a subject that is very close to my heart. And today I have selected to speak on Bihar beyond Nalanda and hidden archaeological site documented purpose. So, when we talk about heritage of Bihar, opponent came to our mind immediately. This learnings and they represents the height of intellectual lives in ancient India, but Bihar is much more than those two celebrated sites, and that is it waits for researcher to explore it. And we hope through times we can understand the heritage of Bihar properly. So I work in Bihar for a long time, and I travel through districts like Bhagalpur, Madhubani, Khagaria, Purnia, Champaran, Nalanda, Gaya, Muzaffarpur, and other parts of Bihar. And I have walked through villages, rivers, and old pathways during my journey. During the journeys, I came across many archaeological materials somewhere. Like broken pottery somewhere like beads or many archaeological materials, and some were fragmented that could not identify properly. So but together the small finding shall tell a big story. They show a they shows that the Bihar was not only home to these great universities, but also to widespread civilizations. So Bihar heritage does not lie only in big excavated sites. It lies in the everyday land, and when farmer plow their fields, villagers dig foundations for their houses or for their homes or elsewhere. So they find bricks or some unusual sizes or other materials. So when children play near the old mounds, so this was a silent witness of past, and that has not been studied properly. So those the part that I have spoken about. Those are my experience when I touch with the people, when I visited each and every when I visited some of the villages of some of the districts. I got experienced from the peoples and their way of thinking, their way of speaking. They have sourced their throughout the rainy seasons, and they have stored it in their house to us. So that those are the materials that we have collected. They does not know the value they does not know the history behind it. We know as an archaeologist, I think many persons know. But if we try to teach those peoples about the rich heritage of our rich heritage, then that document can be stored or can be analyzed properly by the villagers or by us. So now many villages throughout Bihar, we have such mounds, some look like small hills like Champa, or I have seen so many mounds in Bihar, in Bhagalpur and Darbhanga district. Some were covered by tree. People's often give them some names by locally, like Gar, like D, like Sthan, or like Kot. So those names themselves are clues for us to find out some archaeological potential places. So they show that the peoples was once occupied, and that people were occupied or held sometimes in the past. I have met villagers and who say that this is where our ancestor worship. This is the temples where our ancestor worships. So they often says this place is very old, and nobody knows who lived here. So their old traditions are precisely and very important to us and hold some importance if we look at them. So these oral traditions are precise, which passed through the generations. These are the story that we have gotten from these villages. So they are may not be written in books, those stories, but they carry archaeological sites. So now I have I have gotten a few minutes here. Actually, I have another engagement, as I told Bhaiya, to share my ideas with you all, so that I would like to show some places where I have visited and noted archaeological materials. Preliminary, I have selected a few photographs for this presentations, and so that I can share my heritage spreads across villages, and those are important as Nalanda, as Vikramshila, and as we does not know what actually beneath these archaeological sites or beneath this mud. So now here the first ones in these first slides, I have just the materials. This maps actually shows the materials which are from the ancient past and which we called the Paleolithic age. So based on the materials that we have collected from those sites, like handakes, like different type of flakes, different type of stone tools, different kind of stone tools, I may say. So basically, as I remember, from those places we have found so many flakes, like from the Mandar Hills, to polish stone tools from beside a river in Baka districts, and there are several flake tools also found from Jatian Hills, Jatian Hill Valley, and then as I remember, in the Bhagalpur districts is Misraji. I called him Misraji, and he's a very genuine person, and so he had a lot of zoological actually informations with him, and he collected so many fossils from the Baradi Ghats when the bridge was made. So he collected so many fossils from there. So he had also written two articles, two very impressive and informative articles on that parts. So I also viewed those fossils to get some information about the ancient past of this district. So this is the and based on those materials, I have drawn this map to understand the patterns of the settlements in the ancient past of in this district. So now Then here the are there in the maps, and which I plotted. Totals we have found, as I remember, over 300 archaeologically potential places in Bhagalpur district, beside the Great Champa and Vikramshila, and which are important if we look them differently from our archaeological view. So I have also selected some photographs of the sites. So those are the places with varnished ware. Varnished ware is one of the important archaeological pottery, which indicates us that the settlement before the historical phase. So here are some unique varnished wares that we have collected during our journey in Bhagalpur districts. And those are some examples of the BRW potteries. Those are different kind of NPPW swords which we have collected from different places in the Bhagalpur district during our visits. So now I have plotted a few maps here. You can see the red marks, red points here, and those are indicates a few organized big settlement within this certain latitudinal and longitudinal extensions, and in the Bhagalpur and Banka districts area. So those settlements indicates those points indicates big settlements. The mounts of big settlements, I mean to how I have selected big settlements based on my collections, based on the materials that we have collected, and the area of the spread of the materials, and how far the materials are spreading in the site. So based on those we have mark an area, try to mark an area. So and the points indicates exactly the scale is there at the below of the map. So and we just draw area, small points, where a settlement was there in the ancient times. Major mounts are also drawn based on our collected material. So I have now shows you some mounts and the photographs of the mounts and occurrences which we have collected during our survey in the this is a huge mound which is in the Bhagalpur districts, which is called Sorup Chowk. So we have also visited and found a huge mound near the Vikramshila Mahabir, a few kilometer from the Vikramshila Mahabir, I think 2 or 3 kilometers south from the Vikramshila Mahabir, which is huge mound. I don't know how this was overlooked by our archaeologists in the past. So it's a huge one. And then Banokar is one of the biggest mound. Then Sanokar is also famous for inscriptions, but the mound beside the Sanokar temples is also a very noteworthy and very big, I think. And then the Kuru one is first times I just appraised my heads and surprised, like this one is a small hill, heap of a muds, and maybe we can call the mud hill. But and then after visited and after found so many materials from the upper surface, I just recognized that this one is a good sites and big sites in the Bhagalpur district. So now uh, we have collected so many materials from over 300 sites. We have those materials now in the Bhagalpur museums. If anyone like to see those, anyone can go and see those materials which are locked there in the Bhagalpur museum. So, and based on the materials, we have just first plotted each and every places from where we have collected the materials, and then we have drawn you can see this one. When you can see this one, those red oval points, and those are the big settlement within the small settlement. So of course we can call those places are the settlement because materials have been there. Materials entire districts with the help of the archaeology department. And then the director Dr. Atul Verma gave me an opportunity to lead the team of the archaeological teams and to survey the entire districts there. So now in the Darbhanga districts, we have found over 345 sites, archaeological sites, and of which 244 are good mounts, and of which cover large amounts of of lands and just and some are got so small amounts of land. Structures beneath the surface, and as we have seen temples in the middle of the western fringe of the districts. Most of the mounds have been noted in the eastern parts, and their concentration are less in number. So now I have like to show you some pictures of the some big mounds. They are in the Darbhanga district, like the Dharambiddi. Dharambiddi, the D word is indicates the as I told earlier, the D words is indicate the local mounds or local habitats. Then the Ramoldi is one of the big mounds, and then we have found another ones. The big one, the biggest mound is the Dhanoli is one of the biggest mound here in this district. Then Badaidi is the far from the Darbhanga town, but it's a good one. Then Malay is just beside a small lake, I mean to say a small water body, and we have got a lot of cowries, a lot of cowries from there, from this spot, which is indicated here. So Ramoli is one of the get found. Then the Kopgad is already famous for its ancient occurrences, and we have visited Kopgads and get so many archaeological potential materials from the Kopgads. So then we have, as we surveyed the throughout the districts, we got so many sculptural parts, so many sculptural parts from the Darbhanga districts, like from Kamat, Pokots, then from Ojaul, from Ojaul, we have got so many sculptural parts. Then Mahadev skulls, and from the rest of the places. So then we have just try to get try to understand the places from where both the cultural parts and the archaeological materials are also found. So like big mounds, big mounds, and on the upper surface of the mounds we got too many sculptural parts which is spread over there. So those are also properly studied and mapped very precisely, so to get to got some inside information about the sites, and it's important. So those are some photographs of the materials that we have upper surface of the places we have visited throughout the Darbhanga districts. So I have also shown some of the terracotta pictures, terracotta figurines, photographs of some of the terracotta figurines to show you that our potentials materials from the Darbhanga districts. Then I also got opportunity to survey the Champaran districts also with the help of Bihar Purabit Parishad. Then the director of the Bihar Purabit Parishad, Dr. C.P. Sinha. So he gave me a chance to survey the entire Champaran districts, the west, basically Champaran, and then we have found so many archaeological potential places in there in the Champaran districts also. Like Rajapur Mount is one of the biggest mount I have found in the Champaran districts, and then Chandistan's a temple is there in the top of the temples, and the area is huge area, the Chandistan. Locally, the local people also very sympathized about the sites, their sites, and they have got so many materials from these places. Then another part, which is also a very quiet and very small mound is now remains. The local peoples are already cut and demolished the rest of the parts of this mound. So now, my about the as I visited so many places in Bihar, and I have found many archaeological parts. So the archaeological materials found in those places are not random. They reveal patterns. If we have source, the pottery suggested long-term settlements. Much of it belong to early historic periods, and of course later, and of course earlier materials also there. The shapes and the design show trade contracts and the cultural link between the other settlements. Terracotta figurines reveal religious beliefs. Bead shows their crafts traditions, and beads and bricks shows their architectural styles, and which are very common on that times. So now when we connect those sites on a map, we see a story. It is a story of the people who lived, who work, farm, who trades and worships long before the kingdom settles and the university emerged. And this is the deeper heritage of Bihar, I think. So Bihar archaeological story does not with the grandeurs of Nalanda, Vikramshila, Tilhora, or other places. So those are only the most visible chapters. The mounts of Bhagalpur, the cultural dimension, Dalwanga, the mounts and the cultural part of the Champaran's terracotta, Burmese word, ancient bricks, coins that were found from the Bihar every day till now, that are the landscapes of Bihar, and once the learning, which once live with learning, trade, rituals, and settlement, and skills are wide within the documented. So those scattered findings prove one thing with certainty, that Bihar was not a civilization with a few centers of excellence. It was a civilization spread across the soil itself. So today the challenge is not the absence of evidence. The challenge is to absence of systematic attentions. So if we map, study, and protect those sites with specific scientific methods and community participation, so their history will not just be redundant, and it will be completed, and it will gain the depth, skills, and continuity that only field evidence can provide. So therefore the responsibility is ours, the scholars, institute, and the civil society, to ensure that those silence, witness of history will not remain silent any longer. So when documented properly, they will speak not only the Bihar, but holistically our great civilizations. So that's my submissions, and that's my paper is actually for today. So now you submit, and for your considerations, and for any questions or any remarks. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Arvindji. It's very important paper, and it was a very insightful paper which asks us and challenges us to actually look beyond the stereotypical idea of heritage that has been presenting and has been a part of Bihar and what it shows in and around the world. And it's a very well researched and well documented paper that you presented. Now, I would like to invite Dr. Namrata Kumari, Assistant Professor, BN College, Patna, BN College, Patna University, to present their paper on the topic Tharo Janjati Ki Dharohar. Ma'am, please, over to you.
नमस्कार। सर्वप्रथम सभी वक्तागण और श्रोताओं को मेरा प्रणाम। मैं नम्रता कुमारी बीएन कॉलेज से हूँ, और जहाँ तक मैं समझती हूँ कि विरासत की बात की जा रही हो, धरोहरों की बात की जा रही हो, और वहाँ पर हम जनजातीय धरोहरों को बिना छुए आगे नहीं बढ़ सकते। ये प्रसंग उस समय तक अधूरा ही रहेगा जब तक हम जनजातीय धरोहरों के बारे में, उनकी विरासतों की चर्चा ना करें। जहाँ तक बिहार की बात है, तो बिहार के पश्चिम चंपारण जिले में थारू जनजाति की घनी आबादी है। लोगों की मानसिकता थी, या लोग ये समझते थे कुछ दिन यानी कि आज से 10 या 20 साल पहले तक, जब मैंने सोचा था कि इस पे मैं कुछ काम करूंगी, झारखंड के बिहार से अलग होने के बाद बिहार में जनजातियों की संख्या है ही नहीं या नगण्य है। लेकिन चंपारण क्षेत्र जो है बिहार राज्य का, वहाँ पे थारुओं की घनी आबादी है, करीब 2.5 से 3 लाख की जनसंख्या वहाँ पर है। और साथ ही में यहाँ ये भी बताना चाहूंगी कि यहाँ पर थारुओं के साथ साथ मुंडा और ओराव जनजाति का भी बसाव है, और उनकी भी सांस्कृतिक विरासतें यहाँ पे देखने को मिलती है। चंपारण का जो क्षेत्र है पुरातात्विक विरासतों से समृद्ध तो है, साथ साथ सांस्कृतिक विरासतों से भी समृद्ध है, और खास करके यहाँ की जनजातियों की विरासतों से। जहाँ तक जनजातीय विरासत की बात है, धरोहरों की बात है, तो सभी जानते हैं कि जो जनजाति हैं वो पर्यावरण से जुड़े हुए हैं, और इनकी प्रमुख समस्या जो है जल, जंगल और जमीन की है। पर्यावरण के साथ इनका गहरा संबंध है, और पर्यावरण से जुड़े होने के कारण पर्यावरण संरक्षण की दृष्टि से इनका काफी महत्व हो जाता है। मैं पहले भी चर्चा कर चुकी थारू जनजाति की एक विशेष पूजा जो है वर्णा पूजा, जिसमें उनका 3 दिन का लॉकडाउन होता है साल में एक बार। और कोरोना काल के समय में माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने भी इसकी चर्चा मन की बात में की थी। इसके अलावा पर्यावरण से ही वो पाते हैं, पर्यावरण से ही चीजों को एकत्र करते हैं और वही उनके जीवन का आधार होता है। जीवन यापन की सामग्रियां वो वहीं से प्राप्त करते हैं और एक तरह से स्वावलंबी समाज का निर्माण करते हैं। कुछ थारू जो है ये भी बताते हैं कि हमारे यहाँ रक्षाबंधन का जो पर्व होता है तो उसमें सर्वप्रथम वो पेड़ों को राखी बांधते हैं और उनके साथ जो संबंध है वहाँ के जीव जंतुओं का, तो वो चीज कोई और नहीं समझ सकता है। अब जहां तक बात आती है विजुअल आर्ट की, परफॉर्मिंग आर्ट की, तो इस क्षेत्र में थारू क्षेत्र में थारू के साथ साथ अन्य जनजातियां भी है और उन पर भी वर्क करने की आवश्यकता है। तो काफी कुछ चीजें हैं जो हमें हमारी धरोहरों के रूप में सुरक्षित है, उन्होंने सुरक्षित रखा भी है और कुछ प्रयास किए जाने की आवश्यकता भी है। सिक्की आर्ट की मैं बात करूंगी तो मूंज और सिक के पौधों से वो लोग इतना सुंदर सुंदर सिक्की आर्ट बनाते हैं। वो डलिया के रूप में है, दौरी के रूप में है, श्रृंगार बॉक्स के रूप में दिखाई देता है और उनके द्वारा बनाया गया पटिया, पटिया यानी कि चटाई जिसका इस्तेमाल हम लोग करते हैं, तो वो एक अलग विशेष प्रकार की आकृतियों के साथ एक खूबसूरत लुक देता है। इसके लिए एक संभावित बाजार की आवश्यकता भी है और इसको परफॉर्मेंस दिखाने की भी आवश्यकता और दिखाई भी जाती है, दिखाई भी गई है बिहार और बिहार से बाहर, यहाँ तक कि विदेशों में भी इसकी प्रदर्शनियां लगाई गई है और इसको प्रोत्साहित और इसकी सराहना भी की गई है। थारू जनजाति जो है उनके पास गृह निर्माण की जो अद्भुत शैली है, तो उसके बदौलत वो इस प्रकार के घर भी बना लेते हैं जो अपने आप में एयर कंडीशनर का काम करता है, यानी ठंडा में ठंड, गर्मी और गर्मी के दिनों में ठंड का एहसास कराता है। तो कुछ चीजों को हमें उनसे सीखने की आवश्यकता है। उनके द्वारा दिया गया औषधियों से जो हम स्वास्थ्य लाभ कर पाते हैं, वो भी हमें वो देखने की और समझने की जरूरत है। जो जंगलों से वो जड़ी बूटी प्राप्त करते थे, तो शायद अब उन्हें मिलना मुश्किल होता है, ये उनका कहना था, लेकिन हमें उनसे सीखने की आवश्यकता है। कुछ परफॉर्मिंग आर्ट भी है, जैसे उनके लोकगीत, लोक संगीत। लोकगीत तो लोकगीतों का तो भंडार है उनके पास, 12 मासा, जिसमें 12 महीनों का चित्रण दिखाई देता है। काफी खूबसूरती से महिलाएं गाती हैं। बिरहानी गीत, बिरह के गीत, बिरह का चित्रण जिसमें दिखाया जाता है। इसके अलावा बरसाती गीत, ऐसे-ऐसे बरसाती गीत मैंने सुने हैं जो जो उन्होंने बताया कि इसे गाने के बाद से खुद ब खुद मेघ या बरसात आ जाया करता था। रात्रि के चारों पहर का गीत है उनके पास। चारों पहर के लिए अलग-अलग प्रकार के वो गीत गाते हैं। इनको संजोने की, सहेजने की आवश्यकता है। इसके अलावे उनके पास काफ़ी लोक नाट्य, लोक नृत्य, लोक कथाओं का अद्भुत भंडार है जिसको उनका जो संगीत है वो काफ़ी मनमोहक और काफ़ी अलग तरीके का होता है। अलग तरीके के मीन्स उसमें जो सुर, ताल, लय जो दिखाई देता है वो बिल्कुल ही अलग होता है, जो कहीं मुझे नहीं लगता कि कहीं किसी स्टेज पे जाकर के वो उस चीज़ों को, उस भाव को दिखा सकते हैं। तो ज़रूरत है इन सब चीज़ों को सहेजने की। जब मैं फील्ड वर्क पे थी, तो जो वहाँ के युवा वर्ग थे, उनके पास इन सब चीज़ों का अभाव था और इनको वो काफ़ी मतलब बहुत ज़्यादा इम्पोर्टेंस नहीं देते थे, कुछ है दृष्टि से ही देखते थे। तो ज़रूरत है कि उनके संस्कृति को उभारने की, उनको बताने की कि ये काफ़ी अच्छी चीज़ें हैं, ये जनरेशन टू जनरेशन आगे बढ़ना चाहिए। उनके जो बुजुर्ग थारू लोग हैं, उनके पास ये समृद्धि है, तो वो अपने थ्रू अपने जनरेशन को दे सकते हैं। सांस्कृतिक पत्रिकाएँ जो होती हैं, मुझे लगता है कि उसको प्रकाशित करने की ज़रूरत है, जिसमें उनकी संस्कृति को कवर किया जा सकता है हर 6 मंथ पे या हर 3 मंथ्स पे। वहाँ के जो कलाकार हैं, उनको उचित मुआवजे मेहनताना की भी ज़रूरत होती है, जिसकी वजह से वो इग्नोर करते हैं इन सब चीज़ों से। इसके अलावा बहुत सारी चीज़ें हैं, जिस पर विचार करने की भी आवश्यकता है। मैं यहाँ बात करूँगी घड़ोली बुनकर सहयोग समिति हरना टर्की, वहाँ की महिलाओं को मैंने देखा था। तो वो ऊन से बनी हुई चादर, शॉल, स्वेटर काफी खूबसूरत और काफी गर्म जो थी, तो उन्होंने बना करके हमें दिया था। तो उन सब चीजों को प्रमोट करने की आवश्यकता है। मुझे लगता है पर्यटन के साथ महिलाओं को जोड़ने की भी आवश्यकता है, और जो जल, भूमि और जंगल संबंधी उनके जो अधिकार हैं, उन पर भी विचार करने की आवश्यकता है। और इस साथ में मैं ये भी कहूँ कि बिहार में अन्य जनजातियां भी हैं, तो सभी का अध्ययन करने की जरूरत है, सभी की संस्कृति को सहेजने की जरूरत है। जब विरासत की बात हो रही है तो विरासत में सभी शामिल है। तो लोक संस्कृति जो होती है राष्ट्रीय संस्कृति की संवाहिका है, और उसे हमें हर हाल में संजोए रखना है। तो इसके साथ ही आज के लिए इतना ही। नमस्कार।
शुक्रिया नम्रता जी, आपने बहुत अच्छे से ये बात बताई कि कैसे ट्राइबल कम्युनिटी का कितना बड़ा योगदान रहा है हेरिटेज के इस डिस्कशन और डिस्कोर्स का, और कैसे हेरिटेज सिर्फ और सिर्फ एक पर्टिकुलर कल्चरल हेरिटेज ही नहीं, हेरिटेज एनवायरमेंटल हेरिटेज है जो आजकल बात की जा रही है, जिनके बारे में कि कैसे एनवायरमेंटल हेरिटेज के पार्ट ट्राइबल कम्युनिटी सबसे ज्यादा रहे हैं, और कैसे बहुत अभी तो मैंने मध्य प्रदेश में भी देखा कि अब ट्राइबल एक पूरा म्यूजियम है मध्य प्रदेश में ट्राइबल लोगों के लिए, उनके लिए, वैसा बिहार में ट्राइबल कम्युनिटी के लिए भी होना चाहिए। और आपका ये डिस्कशन उसी बात को छेड़ता है और काफी अच्छे से दर्शाता है। थैंक यू सो मच। अब मैं now I would like to call upon the Army veteran Captain Pran Ranjan Prasad, former Chief Security Officer, Archaeological Survey of India, to present their paper on the topic illicit trafficking of cultural property. Sir, over to you. सर आप म्यूट पर हैं। जी आप म्यूट पर हैं, आप म्यूट हटा लीजिए। हेलो प्राण सर। लगता है कि प्राण सर का कुछ इंटरनेट का इश्यू है, तो हम 1 मिनट और देते हैं कुछ समय, वो अगर आए तो ठीक है, नहीं तो हम आगे बढ़ेंगे सेशन में, और जब उनका इंटरनेट ठीक होगा तो हम वापस से उनको बुलाएंगे। ठीक है, तो हम आगे बढ़ते हैं। एंड मैं अजीत कुमार जी जो एक रिसर्च स्कॉलर है फ्रॉम मानव रचना यूनिवर्सिटी फरीदाबाद हरियाणा, और उनका रिसर्च पेपर का टॉपिक है एवोल्यूशन ऑफ मधुबनी आर्ट from ritual wall painting to global folk art tradition to present their paper. Please, sir.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am, for inviting me for this wonderful conversation. I really feel glad to be a part of this organization as of now. And so many scholars and researchers are here, and listening them is really grateful to me. So now I would love to start with my topic. So initially, I'll let you know about the brief introduction of Madhubani part. So Madhubani is a renowned district in North Bihar, famous for its culture and art. Generally, paintings are done by folk and classical artists in three ways: wall painting, which is called Bhitti Chatra, canvas painting, Patha Chitra, and floor painting, Aripana, which is clearly mentioned in Nivedita Das' work. Mithila is one of the best places to gain insight into the culture of Bihar, and Madhubani is the heartland of Mithila. These paintings are categorized into two kinds. First, drawing on the ground, named Aripana, and second is painting on the wall called Bhiti Chitra, which is clearly mentioned in her work of Shalini Tiwari in 2018. These paintings are popularly known as the Mithila and Madhubani painting. These paintings are often made by the women and decorate the walls of the house. Madhubani paintings are famous for their traditional art and their bright color. Now I come to the derivation how Madhubani paintings comes into the existence. So the origin of the Madhubani paintings is very unknown, but the roots of this art originates from the Ramayana period. It is said that in Ramayana, Raja Janaka invited the artist to decorate its palace for his daughter's wedding. It is also said that Urmila, Lakshmana's wife, wished to join him in exile, but on Lakshmana's denial, she stayed back in the palace and made a painting of her husband on the wall and worshipped every day for his long life and beautiful life. How far these folklores are accurate is still unknown, but there is a mention of this art in the ancient literature of Mithila. Madhubani paintings are usually made by women and followed by their girl child. Thus, the art is passing from one generation to another, specifically by women. It is seen that with the change in generation, this art adopts a new elements in it. It is challenging to know the exact time of its origin and growth, but yes, there are two categories of Madhubani painting. First is done by Brahmana, and the second one is done by Kayastha. Both are different from each other in style and in color. Both styles preserve their distinctive culture and qualities. Madhubani region has been a hub of creative activities, but this was unknown to the outer world till 1930s. In 1930s, various villages were damaged by the natural calamity of an earthquake. A government official named William J. Archer traced a sample of broken walls, and he was surprised to see the indigenous artwork on the wall. In 1949, he mentioned an article in Marg about the pictorial tradition of Madhubani painting, which is clearly mentioned in Shruti Das' work in 2012. Now, I can uh, tell the characteristics of the Madhubani paintings, how it is distinct in another paintings form. So Madhubani paintings is considered quite distinctive due to its design. Nowadays, this art form is just not limited to a specific region of Bihar, but it became prominent in India as well as in abroad countries. It has a unique pattern which makes it little more special from the other folk arts. Madhubani paintings consist of various elements which are related to each other. The Madhubani paintings are majorly associated with religion and natural practices. The Lord Shiva, Vishnu, Shakti are evidently visible in these paintings, as per accompanied by Krishna, Shiva, Parvati, Gauri, Ganesha, Durga, and Kali as well. And the 10 avatars and sun and the moon, these are the nature or natural distinctive feature of this painting. Various paintings depicts different aspects of life. If I talk about specifically of this particular art form, there are multiple symbols used in every symbol has a distinctive character, such as parrots represent love, turtle symbolizes union of lovers, fishes depict fertility, and moon and sun represents the life. Now, I come to the contemporary part of this painting. Madhubani painting have an immense past and history of art of folk, and interestingly, it's profound yet in the village of Rashidpur, Jitwarpur, Rajangarh, and much more. 99% people of Madhubani district do Madhubani paintings, which itself a large population. Few artists of Jitwarpur village who are yet contributing in the Madhubani painting are Mahasundari Devi, Sivan Paswan, Rajkumar Lal, and Narayana Das, which clearly depicts that now it is not limited to the women only. Now, male is also contributing their part in it. And all these artists have received a fame globally and participated in various seminars in Poland, Canada, Dubai, Germany, and Denmark. So it shows that how this painting moves around the globe, one place to another. So it is not about a regional painting. Now it is a painting of everyone, which is just moving one place to another in form of various exhibitions. So in this district of Madhubani, there is a Mithila Art Institute which operates for the development of the Madhubani and conducts workshop to train the young Madhubani artists. Mithila Museum in Japan has a stock of more than 850 Madhubani paintings, which clearly signifies that this paintings takes a place in the entire world, and also another countries are taking it a privilege to be represented in their country. So this painting of Karpuri Devi, sister-in-law of well-known artist Mahasundari Devi, Mahalakshmi, and Dulari have were placed in Mithila Museum in Japan. Madhubani painting spread its fragrance of the artistry work and social awareness. Female Madhubani artists have a vision to empower women towards the fundamental rights and concept. Then an extra simpler incident happened in the year of 2012, if I talk about this, when Shastri Nath, who governs the Gram Vikas Parishad, an NGO, protected more than 100 trees being cut down from the construction of roads. They decorated trees with the Madhubani paintings with visual of Lord Rama, Sita, Radha Krishna, and other Ramayana characters. So he directly or indirectly saved the trees from the natural calamities or the cut down by the human being. So it shows that how this painting saves our environment too. In the foreign countries, if I talk about Madhubani artists, paintings are in high demand. Madhubani artists like Rajkumar Lal was extremely glad by the response of Mauritius audience. He said, I was surprised to receive New Year card this year, 2010, on Madhubani painting in Mauritius style. And it clearly depicts that how artists get recognized by the various countries. Now I come to the conclusion. So Madhubani painting has various aspects of the life. Initially, it was started from the wall painting and flourished all over the world. It depicts the masterwork done by the women. Madhubani painting gained fame in India as well as in foreign countries. Nowadays, these paintings are not limited to floor and wall painting. It spreads its fragrance on the paper, embroidery of clothes, and much more. It also carries the legacies of culture and heritage in the form of the painting. I really thankful and glad to share my opinion on this particular art form. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Ajit. And thank you for taking us on this journey of understanding the transition of Madhubani painting from just a wall painting to a global phenomena, and how you included the gender aspect of this cultural heritage, of this art heritage, and how the gender roles also change through time and global involvement. Thank you so much, sir. And now I would like to proceed and call Azad Gulshan ji, Post-Doctoral Fellow from Nalanda University, to present their research paper on the topic Mapping the Archaeological Heritage of Nalanda and Rajya. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much for giving me this wonderful chance. So, Honorable Chair, all the delegates, and everyone who is joining from different parts of the world. First of all, my warm greetings on this World Heritage Week. I'm extremely thankful to Heritage Society, particularly Professor Anantashtosh Dwivedi and SS College for extending me this opportunity to present on this unique occasion. Um, uh, my presentation is visible. Uh, so Thank you to all. I will be making a brief presentation primarily on Rajgir and Nalanda. In Yes, it is good. So, in Bihar, we have two World Heritage sites. One is Mahabodhi Temple Complex, which is located in Bodh Gaya. The second one is ruins of Nalanda Mahavihar, uh, which got the status of World Heritage Site, UNESCO World Heritage Site in 2016 after the attempt made by Archaeological Survey of India and Bihar government. And a new university, Nalanda University, has been established very close to this ancient ruins in Rajgir, which is Nalanda University, from where I belongs, and which is a revival university of this ancient Nalanda Mahavihar. Both of this site, UNESCO World Heritage Site, holds great importance in Indian history, particularly even in world history, because the site, Bodh Gaya, is known for the seat of the Enlightenment, and Nalanda Mahavihar as the seat of knowledge in ancient world. I will be speaking briefly on both the Nalanda and will be touching upon Rajgir, which is located in a vicinity of Nalanda, very close, and was the seat of power, seat of politics for a very long period of time in ancient India. So, if we see the map of Indian subcontinent. We have 16 Mahajanpadas that emerged so, uh, somewhere between 8th to 9th century BCE. Between around 6th century BCE, we have Digha Nikaya speaking about 6 prominent cities that are located on Uttarapatha and which are the most prosperous hub for all kind of activities in ancient India. Among this, we have the name of Rajgriha that continuously appears in most of the Buddhist texts as well as Jain text and Brahmanical texts, and in all other forms of literature as well as in archaeology. The site depicts huge archaeological remains that belongs to this particular period. So we have Rajgriha, which was the first capital of Magad, and it emerged as a very powerful kingdom in ancient time. Now, this Rajgriha is known by many multiple different names and is widely found in different kind of textual literature. In Buddhist account, we have the name Kushagrapura that is given to Rajgriha. In Ramayana, it is known as Vashumatipura, and it is known as a city that was established by one of the son of Brahma, Vashu, particularly. In Mahabharata, again, there are numerous references of this ancient city of Rajgriha. It is known as Girivraja, uh, a place which is surrounded by hills from all the sides, and where Krishna came along with Bhima and Arjuna, and there was this duel fight that happened between Bhimshen and Jarasandha. Again, it is also known in Jain literature. In Jain literature, it is known as Chiti Pratishtapura and Rishabhapura. Popularly, maybe even before Mahavira came to this place, the site has a very strong Jain affiliation, and because of that, it was known as Rishabhpura, the abode of Rishabh, the first Tirthankara in Jainism. Then it continuously remained for a very long period of time. It was the capital of the Magad, and Magad saw continuous expansion for a long period of time, and later on this capital shifted from Rajgir to Patliputra as what we find. So this why this city emerged as the powerful capital important is its a strategic location. The valley area, which was probably where most of the archaeological remains are still discovered, this was probably the valley portion, which is surrounded by 5 hills, was the place where the ancient Rajagriha was located. As we discussed the different names, Rajagriha, then the name appears much later on, and this is found in Hathigumpa inscription in Odisha in Udaygiri caves. So this by that time, by the time of first century CE, Rajgriha is more known as a garrison town, which is existing there as one of the military town. Now this city, which was located within the valley area, it was surrounded by 5 hills, and these hills naturally provided a fortification to the city, which allowed it to continuously remain immune to all kind of external threat, uh, possibly any kind of danger coming from other kingdoms. So the city continued to thrive for a very long period of time, and because of its location on Uttarapatha, and also its ability to draw resources from Chota Nagpur plateau and from the fertile plains of hinterland areas that exist around Rajgriha, the city continued to prosper and accumulate wealth, and then because of that, it saw further expansion for a very long period of time, and then further. As we see during the time of Udayan, the capital city is further transferred to Patliputra because of the rising population and the continuous expansion which Magad sought at this point of time. So we have Rajgriha emerging as a very important part in the Indian history, and so this city must hold the status of heritage city, and which is pending from a very long time, as Nalanda has reclaimed its position as a World Heritage Site. The Rajgriha also should a proposal should be given in order to get the same status. Now, what we find, Rajgriha is not only found in these kind of textual references limited to that, but even Rajgriha also appears in Puranic literatures. We have in Agni Purana, Garuda Purana, Skanda Purana, which all talks about Rajgriha as a very prominent place where there are in every intercalary month that comes up in every 3 years, there is a unique festival that is organized, Malamas Mela, and it is believed that all kind of Devi and Devatas, gods and goddesses resides in Rajgir at that particular point of time. And when there is no worship anywhere in any part of the world, the Rajgir has the position where all kind of worship and rituals can take place. So Rajgir also becomes very important in all kind of Puranic canonical literature. Again, in Buddhist and Jain, it holds extremely important place because Buddha spent a very long time, almost 14 rainy season in Rajgir. We have the first Buddhist property that is known in the world of Buddhism was donated to Buddha in Rajgriha, which is Venuvana. Again, Buddha gave Saddharma Pundarika Sutra, one of the famous verse that became extremely popular in Japan and became a foundation for Jain Buddhism. Was also propounded here in Rajgir. So Rajgir equally hold importance in Buddhism. In Jainism, we have Muni Shubrat Swami, the 20th Tirthankara, who was born in Rajgriha and attained enlightenment again in Rajgriha in close to Biplanchalgiri, one of the hill. Then Mahavira also spent a huge time in Rajgriha. He achieved enlightenment on Biplanchalgiri, and his 12 Gandharas, the chief disciples, all of them attained Kaivalya, which is equivalent to liberation, was achieved on Vyavharigiri hill. So we have what we find that the hill becomes extremely sacred, and the valley becomes even more sacred because this place and location was visited by a number of sages, seers, seekers of knowledge from a very long period of time. Even by the time of Buddha, this place was famous. And this is one of the reasons particularly you can believe upon why Buddha chose to visit Rajgriha and not visit any other place. As before Buddha, before Buddha, the larger tradition, the popular culture of attaining meditation or seeking knowledge was sages and seers used to go towards Himalayas. They used to choose isolated locations or forest areas. That's where most of the Aranyakas have been written. The forest books have been written. So from the Vedic culture onwards, the tradition was that whoever seeks knowledge or a spiritual experience, they used to move towards Himalayas. Now, but Buddha take a completely inverse route, and he started moving towards the city area, more towards the capital area, which was a thriving capital, because the city was already emerging as a place where people, especially the knowledgeable people, were all settling up on its periphery all around, and was an important hub where knowledge could be imparted even by the time of Buddha. And this is visible that even Mahabharata, we have number of sages like Dirgha Atmasha, Gautama are mentioned who resides on these hills only. And again in Jainism, Mahavira and some of his predecessors like Muni Shubhrata, they have all wandered upon these hills. So these hills tends to be a very sacred position, holds a very sacred position in all of these different kind of canonical literatures. Now, taking this into clue, we started certain kind of field visits in Rajgir Valley, along with Ajit has also sometimes helped me in this. When we started to trace out and do some archaeological mapping of this this particular area in order to highlight the importance and to trace the antiquities and the exact history of this place. We discovered that the history of Rajgir doesn't start just particularly from the time of the epic period or the Mahajanpada period, but its history can be traced even far behind. And when we started field work as part of one of the archaeological Rajgir archaeological survey project, which was conducted as a joint collaboration between Nalanda University and Bihar Heritage Development Society, what we discovered that the earliest remains in Rajgir goes back to Paleolithic age. And we have some of the earliest Paleolithic remains, such as Acheulean hand axe and other forms of stone tools were discovered in this area near Banganga Valley. And we have some of the archaeological stone tools that you can see in the slides is visible. Again, they are these stone tools are found that have been discovered belongs to both the lower Paleolithic age as well as the upper Paleolithic age, taking the history of Rajgir probably as far as 80,000 years ago. The earliest of the human habitation probably started in this region as far as 80,000 to 1 lakh years ago. And then we have a large number of rock paintings that we have discovered in Rajgir. Some of those on Bevhargiri Hill, on on Sonagiri Hill, on Udayagiri Hills as well. And these rock paintings, some of those depicts the paintings of animals or humans. Probably these paintings again takes the history back to many thousands of years, even before the time of Buddha. Further, as we moved on with our archaeological survey in this part of region, we find a huge number of archaeological remains in the form of fragments, stone sculptures, idols that are huge, scattered all around within the valley area and even on the peripheries of area that further attest to its antiquity. So this is a picture of the site of the hot water spring, where we again discovered a huge number of sculptures which are evenly scattered. The earliest reference of these tirtha appears in Puranas, as we discussed in Agni Purana, Garud Purana, and others, where it is known as a Tirtha Sthana, where sages and seers visits every intercalary month to take holy bath. Again, Xuanchang, one of the traveler from China who studied at Nalanda, he also mentions about this place, hot water springs in Rajgir, and talks about it, calls it as a Tapodrama monastery, which was built just on this bank of this hot water springs. So we have references in Mahabharata of this city. After that, the archaeological remains that has been discovered, some of those key archaeological sites that includes Rath Chakra chariot mark site within Rajgir Valley, which belongs somewhere to Gupta period, although the story attested it's to Mahabharata. We have again one platform that has been discovered, which locally people call it as Jarasandha Akhada. So this is a normal kind of uh, uh, what we find in most of the cities where popular archaeological sites are often closely corroborated with the stories of Ramayana and Mahabharata, and that is how locals also save their site and they connect with the archaeological site. And this is an important part of, as we are discussing on World Heritage Week, this is an important part how people connect themselves with the archaeological sites, and archaeological sites are not limited only to the academic side, but it's open to the wider public audience even for different kind of interpretations, and open for them to call for different for taking conservation and preserving the sites. Now we have a very important key feature in Rajgir, that is a cyclopean wall, which runs above all of the hills within the Rajgir Valley, on all of them. And this cyclopean wall probably seems to be around 40 kilometers long. This is even discussed by Xuanchang, which calls that this wall was probably a stone wall, was probably somewhere around 50 li, which has been roughly interpreted earlier as 7 kilometer, and further it was interpreted as 150 li and somewhere around 39 kilometers somewhere. So the name of this wall came Cyclopean because when the first uh, modern investigators, British explorers, when they discovered this wall, they they immediately found it to be very similar to the walls that are discovered that has been found in Greek literature. And there is a demon, semi-demon, whose name is Cyclope, who are known for constructing these kind of walls in Mycenaean and culture. So the name is Cyclopean is derived from that, from the Greek literature. So we have this earliest remains of Cyclopean wall, which is found over all of the hills. The earliest known historical reference of this wall probably belongs to Mahabharata, where it is called as a where it is said that when Krishna tried to enter into this city of Rajagriha, they had to breach a wall and then enter the city. And probably this wall he may be referring to this. So by the time of Mahabharata itself, probably this wall was into use, but by the time of Buddha there is no references of this wall much into this. And probably, so by the time of Buddha, this wall may have lost its importance, seems to have lost its importance, because it's a very labor intensive work that has been carried out in order to construct this wall. Not only labor intensive, but it also required a lot of resources. So when there is already a natural fortification, why the wall was needed to protect the city? And there are different explanations for this. The most popular explanation is always explores the possibilities of militaries, that it was used to mobilize military or the army over or through this wall. When we were doing some archaeological surveys within the valley, we found different layers of fortification. It was not just the outer fortification, which is the Cyclopean wall. Even in that, we discovered that there were several different kind of branches. Some were of some having width as small as just 1 meter, whereas some having width as wide as 7 to 8 meters and height up to 13 meters. So you can imagine how what kind of work has been carried out to construct this wall. And this wall again runs everywhere on all of the hills. Now, apart from that, we have different other archaeological sites. We have also discovered more than 300 different kind of archaeological remains within the valley area, which again open for further exploration and research. These are some of the caves that have been that exist in Rajgir and which are closely attested to Buddhas. We have Venuvana in Rajgir. We have the Bimbisara ka jail, one of the archaeological sites which again attested to Bimbisara, the famous story where Ajasatru has put his father into jail in order to get the throne. This Saptaparni caves. These caves, which were discovered initially by Markham Stein. The Saptaparni cave is known to be a site where the first Buddhist council was held just after the 6th month of Mahaparinirvana of Buddha, where the Sutta Pitaka and Abhidhamma Pitaka was written here. So this the Alexander Cunningham initially found another cave, Son Bhandar caves, and called it to be Saptaparni cave. But later it was discovered the Son Bhandar caves are more attested to Jain site, as there is an inscription which calls it that the caves were donated to Jain monk where they were. So then another site, caves, Saptaparni caves were discovered. Again, there is lot of confusion on this Saptaparni caves, and different interpretations have been given whether this is the Saptaparni cave or a site which is located just in the foothill. That could be a probable site for Saptaparni. So we'll go just little fast. This is again Plaha stone house, which is on Vyavharagiri hill and known and is attested to Mahamoglayan and sometimes even with the Buddha who took meditation in this, and sometimes is known as Jarasandhika Baitika in popular tradition. On Vyavharagiri hill, again, we have remains of some of the ancient Jain monasteries which has been found, which belongs to 4th century to 8th century CE. Recently, some excavations were conducted in Ajasatru fort area, which is also called as Kila Maidan here. And this was a place where, during the time when the capital was being shifted from Rajagriha to Patliputra, a small city was established on the outskirts of the valley area as a temporary city. And as the archaeological excavations were conducted, the city was seen to be established on the same parameters as how Arthashastra outlines. Then we have enclosed by Badawar caves, which is again needs more closer attention, because this is one of the oldest caves that has been that has been constructed, and has a very polished walls, granite walls, and polished to such an extent that even the image of a person is visible on the walls. We have Sonbhandar caves, which is again Jain caves that have been donated. We have there is Maniyar Matta. This is again close to the Sonbhandar caves, and this was initially excavated with a purpose that this was a Buddhist site where Buddha relics would be discovered. But later on, it was found that this site is more related to a local serpent cult. Here, John Marshall has further called it to be the architecture to be as colossal lingas architecture. So people may visit these sites. Now coming to the Nalanda. Now after the capital was shifted to Patliputra, Rajgriha, although was no longer held political status as a seat of power, but it continued to thrive as an economic for a city for all kind of commercial transaction, as well as its religious importance continued to thrive even further on. And the site was located very at a place where pilgrimage continued to happen, and pilgrims used to all kind of pilgrims, even whether the Buddhist, Jain or Hindus, they all continued to come up here even for a very long period of time. And so as we discussed, that Rajgriha emerged as a place from 6th century BCE onwards, which was a place where all kind of knowledge consolidation happened, where people from all corners of the world used to come in search of knowledge. And this is what even uh, Buddha drew its interest and moved toward Rajgriha in search of knowledge. So this was a perfect place for an institution to be created, a kind of consolidation of knowledge where could happen. So what we see from almost after the time of Buddha, almost after 4th, 5th century BC, we have different kind of vihara structures emerging up, and these viharas, although which were structures meant for a spiritual experience, which was meant for as a place where temporary halt can be taken place during the time of Varshavasa, when all the monks used to stop their work and then they used to stay within the vihara. But gradually, as um, as there was more demand for consolidation of knowledge, and with further subtle condition arised where permanent residencies was required for the Buddhists in order to follow up their different kind of rituals. The viharas gradually turned into Mahaviharas, and then they gradually turned into a place where all kind of scholarly and scholastic practices could be taken up. So now, in this way, Nalanda Mahavihara was founded in 4th century CE by Kumaragupta, and initially it was more a religious kind of center, which gradually by 6th century CE, it turned into a completely scholastic enterprise where all kind of scholarly practices and intellectual practices were being carried out. So we have this site from which although founded in 4th century CE, it continued to function till 12th century CE, and the last reference of Nalanda comes from 14th century CE, which even takes the date even further, where a monk named Dhyanabhadra, whose inscription has been discovered in Korea from 14th century CE, which tells that Nalanda probably functioned until 14th century CE. So for almost 1,000 years, Nalanda continued to thrive and continued to function for a very long period of time. In its history, we have 10,000 students and 2,000 teachers, which is mentioned by Swenchang at its peak. This center housed 10,000 students, 2,000 teachers. Again, there are very prominent uh, travelers such as Swenchang and Singh, who mentions in detail account of Nalanda, which Nalanda as a center which was a knowledge center and which offered different kind of subjects, teachings in different kinds of subjects, which includes Buddhist scriptures, logic, grammar, medicine, mathematics, astronomy, and arts. Then Nalanda attracted numerous scholars, which included from China, Japan, Korea, Mongolia, Turkey, from far of Southeast Asia, and it boasted multiple scholars of several repute. And these scholars, since Nalanda emerged as a place, it turned into an idiom, a proverb, a phrase by 6th century CE, if anyone who is attested with Nalanda, directly or indirectly associated with Nalanda, they used to get a lot of incentives in the form of they were being called by different kind of kings, wealthy merchants, to take their services, and in return they offer huge wealth and prestige, and bestow all kind of prestige to them. So this Nalanda turned into an idiom which after 6th century, which if embodied, this was a huge incentive could be accrued from this. And so Nalanda gradually turned it as a very important center of learning by 6th, 7th century. And we have the archaeological remains of Nalanda, which everyone should visit as on the World Heritage Week. This is one of the site which represents that knowledge continues to thrive. Knowledge turns a person into a nagrik, or what you say, we can say. And so knowledge continues to thrive, and it continues to prosper. After 12th century, the institution faced a complete setback, and faced severe destruction, which is even mentioned in the accounts of Dhammaswami. Most probably in popular literature, the site faced destruction because of the Bakhtiyar Khilji, who raided this site, and plundered most of the prominent institutions that existed in this region. But as knowledge never dies, Nalanda, in its afterlife also, Nalanda, the name of Nalanda continues to thrive. The emotional connect with Nalanda was never died, and there was multiple attempt to revive Nalanda. And one of the such attempt was made in 17th century, when in Bhutan one of the Nalanda monastery was established. Again in 20th century, we have Nalanda Mahavihar was established as a symbol that knowledge remains always there. And then again, with under the current leadership of Honorable Prime Minister Modi, we have Nalanda University that has been established close to Rajgriha, and I invite everyone to go to this important center of learning, which is now revived and coming up in its full glory. These are some of the pictures of the new Nalanda University from where I belong. Thank you to all.
Thank you so much, Azad. And it was amazing. It was amazing how you presented the paper. Very insightful, very technical, and you were able to make us understand the unique position of Rajgir as the center of urban education movement and emergence of religion archaeologically. And that's very important. You also explained how Rajgir and Nalanda, though Nalanda has recently gained popularity and has now been a very important part of historical research, Rajgir requires the same attention and same, involvement from people of historical backgrounds as well as archaeological backgrounds. And thank you so much for this research, sir. Now I would like to call upon Army veteran Captain Pran Ranjan Prasad, who is a former Chief Security Officer from Archaeological Survey of India, to present their paper on the topic illicit trafficking of cultural property.
Hear you. हेलो
सर आप ऑडिबल हैं, आप बोल सकते हैं.
हेलो
हाँ सर, आप ऑडिबल हैं.
हेलो
आप प्लीज कंटिन्यू करिए अपने पेपर पे.
can't hear.
हेलो.
हेलो
हाँ सर, आपका आवाज आ रहा है.
हेलो
आप
हेलो
सर आप सुन सकते हैं?
हेलो
आवाज आ रही है आपको?
सर का
हेलो
टेक्निकल प्रॉब्लम हो गया है.
हाँ,
सर का
सर की तरफ से. हाँ.
हाँ सर का टेक्निकल प्रॉब्लम कुछ हो गया लगता है.
नहीं तो
सर्कुलर
उनको उनको फोन करके बता दीजिए ना कि उनकी आवाज आ रही है, तो अपना
जी
लेक्चर दे सकते हैं फिर।
हाँ।
बिल्कुल 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 बिल्कुल। तब तक मेरे ख्याल से आप लोग कुछ क्वेश्चन वगैरह भी ले सकते हैं आपस में। तब तक हम लोग प्रयास करते हैं कि उनको जोड़ दें, प्राण सर को।
जी जी जी। सो किसी को अगर चैट बॉक्स में कोई क्वेश्चन है या कुछ है जिससे आपको जवाब देना है या कोई ऐसा आपको है, तो आप लोग अपने डिस्कशन कर सकते हैं अपने अपने पेपर के ऊपर।
पेपर प्रेजेंट करने वाले भी एक दूसरे के साथ बातचीत कर सकते हैं आज के पेपर प्रेजेंटेशन पे। कुछ सवाल हो, क्वेरी हो किसी दूसरे पेपर प्रेजेंटर के लिए तो कर सकते हैं, अच्छा हो जाएगा, सिंपोजियम जैसा हो जाए जब तक हमारे कैप्टन साहब जुड़ते हैं।
Thank you, sir. This is really so nice to see you again, sir, after such a long time, and it's such a privilege that Heritage Society is offering us an opportunity to interact with you and again meet with you, although online, but still a wonderful opportunity, sir.
Yeah.
Professor Anand sir
Same
is
is
also here.
with me. So same feeling is with me.
Thank you, sir.
Ajit,
Yes,
so
sir.
nice to see you. Oh,
Thank you, sir. After long time.
after so many books, so you have published. You are a celebrity. So
No, sir. It's a
today
blessing, sir.
today I am listening to a celebrity, Ajit. This is not the Ajit I had met. So Captain Saab has joined us. So let's
Yeah.
listen to him.
Okay. I'm very sorry to all of you because of this technical glitch. Anyway, there was some technical glitch. अभी आप लोग सुन पा रहे हैं मुझे? क्योंकि मुझे नहीं आवाज आ रही है किसी की।
हाँ सर,
अच्छा,
सुन पा रहे हैं।
आप बोलिए।
ओके
आप
ओके,
बिल्कुल बहुत अच्छी आवाज आ रही है, बहुत अच्छी।
ठीक है, धन्यवाद। पहले तो मैं धन्यवाद करना चाहता हूँ इस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में मुझे शामिल करने के लिए, एंड स्पेशली टू डॉक्टर द्विवेदी। देखिए, ऐसा है कि किसी भी विभाग में या किसी भी संस्था में कई आयाम होते हैं, जो अलग अलग ब्रांच जिसको बोलते हैं, सभी अपना काम करते हैं तब, और अच्छे से करते हैं तब वो संस्था आगे बढ़ती है और अच्छा माना जाता है और इनकी सफलता का श्रेय जाता है उनको। इसी तरीके से भारतीय पुरातत्व सर्वेक्षण में सुरक्षा का जब पहला उसकी शुरुआत की गई 1983 में, तो हम लोग कुछ फौज के ऑफिसर्स आए और यहाँ हम लोगों ने सुरक्षा की दृष्टि से कई काम किया। अब सवाल ये है कि सुरक्षा की जरूरत पुरातात्विक वस्तुओं के लिए क्यों चाहिए। अगर आप देखिए, म्यूजियम क्यों बनता है? ताकि सभी पुरातात्विक अवशेषों को जो वहां पर पाए जाते हैं उनको सुरक्षित रखा जाए, और साथ में जो उसके जानकार लोग हैं या जानना चाहते हैं, या बच्चों से लेकर बड़े तक उसका अवलोकन कर सकें, उसको पढ़ सकें। अब इन पुरावशेषों की क्या खासियत है? देखिए, कोई भी स्टैचू है, आर्कियोलॉजिकल ऑब्जेक्ट है, तो वो अपने आप में एक इतिहास है। वो ऑब्जेक्ट उस वक्त के प्रामाणिकता को दर्शाता है कि उस वक्त उतने सदियों पहले कैसा रहा होगा लोगों का जीवन, रहन सहन, खान पान, वेशभूषा, ये सब। इसलिए इन वस्तुओं को सुरक्षित रखना बहुत आवश्यक है और नितांत आवश्यक है। और केवल म्यूजियम ही नहीं, बल्कि जो पुरातात्विक स्थल हैं, मॉन्यूमेंट जिसको हम लोग कहते हैं या साइट, उनको भी अच्छे से रखना है, क्योंकि ये आने वाली पीढ़ियों के लिए हम ये सब काम कर रहे हैं। उनको भी इन चीजों का ज्ञान प्राप्त हो। अब ये सेमिनार भी जो आज हो रहा है, ये ज्ञान प्राप्ति का ही तो एक तरीका है ना, क्योंकि कल हम नहीं रहेंगे, लेकिन हमने जो पाया, हमने जो सीखा, वो इसमें रिकॉर्डेड रहेगा और उससे आगे बढ़ेंगे। अब सवाल ये है कि ये सुरक्षित जो रखना है पुरातात्विक अवशेषों को, उनको किन किन चीजों से खतरा है, पहले तो ये समझना होगा कि खतरा किन चीजों से है, तभी तो निदान होगा ना। डॉक्टर भी पहले आपको जांच करवाता है और तब निदान देता है ना, यहाँ भी वही बात है। और मैं तो 5 बार अपने सर्विस कैरियर में मूर्तियों को वापस बरामद किया, जबकि उसको लोग चुरा कर ले गए थे या कुछ भी किया था। खैर, वो अलग बात है। और ये सब्जेक्ट ऐसा, ये टॉपिक डॉक्टर द्विवेदी साहब ने ऐसा चुना है कि इस पर तो घंटों परिचर्चा हो सकती है, इसके निदान के लिए, इस प्रॉब्लम के। अब ऐसा है कि ये प्रॉब्लम कहाँ कहाँ है। देखिए, प्रॉब्लम कई तरह का है। एक तो है कोई भी जो एफ्लुएंट कंट्री है, उनके पास पैसा है, लेकिन इस तरह के अवशेष उनके पास नहीं है। और हम लोग तो बहुत ही सौभाग्यशाली हैं कि भारत में तो तकरीबन हर जगह, हर जिले में किसी न किसी पौराणिक जगह का अवशेष पाया जाता है। और उसमें बिहार एक अग्रणी, मध्य प्रदेश है, बिहार है, बाकी प्रदेश भी हैं, लेकिन बिहार तो बहुत ही रिच है इस मामले में। लेकिन अनफॉर्चुनेटली पूरी जगहों में सुरक्षा का बंदोबस्त नहीं है, पर्याप्त का साधारण बंदोबस्त भी नहीं है। और इसी संदर्भ में मैं अपने टॉपिक पर आता हूं कि जो एक पैरेलल स्मगलर्स हैं, स्मगलर्स का गैंग है, जो केवल पुरातात्विक चीजों का ही स्मगलिंग करते हैं। इसीलिए मेरा जो टॉपिक है इलिसिट ट्रैफिकिंग ऑफ कल्चरल प्रॉपर्टी, जिसका कि सेमिनार किया था यूनेस्को ने चेन्नई में आज से कई वर्ष पहले, उसमें भी मैंने भाग लिया था। क्योंकि ये कंट्री वाइड ये प्रॉब्लम है, ये नहीं कि सॉरी विश्वव्यापी प्रॉब्लम है, ये केवल हमारे ही देश का नहीं है, तभी तो यूनेस्को ने कराया था। अब सवाल ये है कि ये लोगों का मॉडस ऑपरेंडाई आपको जानना होगा, तभी आप उस पर कार्रवाई कर सकते हैं। पहले तो इनके कई लोग हैं, लोकल भी हैं, फिर देश में भी हैं और प्रदेश में भी हैं। और इसी संदर्भ में ये भी आपको पता ही है कि लाइसेंस्ड, मतलब रजिस्टर्ड ऑक्शन हाउसेस हैं, सौथेबी है, क्रिस्टी है, और भी कई हैं। तो वो लोग भी इस तरह के चीजों को लेना चाहते हैं और उसका नीलामी करके पैसा कमाना चाहते हैं। और हमारे यहाँ रजवाड़े बहुत हैं हमारे देश में, उसके भी लोग, जो राजा वगैरह तो चले गए या खत्म हो गया, अब उनके जो केयर टेकर वगैरह हैं, उनके हाथ में आ गया है सामान, तो इनको तो कुछ लगाव है नहीं पुरातात्विक चीजों से, तो ये इनको पकड़ते हैं, ये जो लोग लगे हुए हैं ना स्मगलिंग करने में, और इनको पैसा देकर खरीदते हैं। जिसका एक ज्वलंत उदाहरण केवल एक मैं दे रहा हूं, ऐसे कई हैं, अनेकों हैं। ये निजाम का ज्वेलरी, हैदराबाद के निजाम का ज्वेलरी, उसको बेच दिया था उनके लोगों ने, और सौथेबी में उसकी नीलामी होनी थी। तो सौथेबी अपना कैटलॉग छापता है और जो सब जगह जाता है, हमारे उसमें एम्बेसी में आया, और उसके बाद भारत सरकार को पता चला और उसके रिट्रीवल के प्रक्रिया में मैं भी शामिल था एक रूप से। तो खैर बड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग था। रात भर हम लोगों ने काम किया और काम जब करना है तो रात भर करना। और एक चीज मैं बता देता हूँ कि ये आर्कियोलॉजिकल सर्वे ऑफ इंडिया में काम करने का जज्बा फौज के ही जज्बे के जैसा है, ये अलग नहीं है। और इसीलिए मुझे बड़ा मजा आया जब मैं फौज में करीब 12 साल नौकरी के बाद आर्कियोलॉजिकल सर्वे में ज्वाइन किया और उसमें सिक्योरिटी से बहुत काम किया हम लोगों ने, जो कि आप देख सकते हैं वो मॉन्यूमेंट पर दिखता है जो सुरक्षा की दृष्टि से हम लोगों ने काम किया। तो क्या है कि सौतेबी से आया, सब आया, फिर प्रत्यावर्तन की वो संधि भी है कई देशों में, जिसकी वजह से अभी हमारे माननीय प्रधानमंत्री अपने साथ कई जगहों से लेकर आए। लेकिन देखिए ये तो हुआ रेमेडियल। सवाल ये है कि हमारा देश इतना रिच है, आखिर यहां से जाए क्यों, चोरी क्यों हो? तो उसमें कई बातें। एक तो देखिए अंदर के लोगों पर भी कोई मैकेनिज्म होना चाहिए जो उनके स्वभाव को भी रीड किया जा सके और इस तरह के वारदात में उनके शामिल होने की गुंजाइश ना के बराबर हो। क्यों? क्योंकि जो स्मगलर्स हैं इस तरीके के, वो हर तरह का ट्रिक अपनाते हैं, पैसे से, डराने से और भी कई तरह से। तो इन सब चीजों के ऊपर बहुत जरूरी है कि कोई स्पेशल टास्क फोर्स बने। अब सीबीआई में है एक ब्रांच, लेकिन उनका काम यही है जब मूर्ति पकड़ा जाता है या कोई इस तरह का सीजर होता है उसके बाद की आगे की कार्रवाई। जबकि मेरा मानना है कि वी शुड प्लग इनिशियली कि वो जाएगा ही क्यों। तो इसमें एक जो चीज है वो सबसे बड़ी बात है कि एडिक्वेसी ऑफ सिक्योरिटी फोर्स। सिक्योरिटी फोर्स को अक्सर लोग बहुत तरजीह नहीं देते हैं, तवज्जो नहीं देते हैं। अभी जैसे डॉक्टर मंजुल ने सवेरे कहा कि इतने पुरातात्विक स्थल हैं बड़े बड़े, लेकिन हमारे पास केवल 20% है, बाकी पर हमारा कोई अख्तियार नहीं है। तो वो तो उनके ऊपर है अख्तियार ना, वो घूमते हैं, मूर्ति उठाते हैं और विदेश के लोगों को या यहाँ भी कोई जो चाहता है उसको पहले फोटो दिखाते हैं। इसका मॉडस ऑपरेंडाई कई स्टेप में है। पहले दे आइडेंटिफाई द स्पेशल टाइप ऑफ आइकन्स, स्टैचूज, और एल्स अगर किसी ने डिमांड किया है कि मेरे को ऐसा चाहिए, शिवा का चाहिए, बुद्धा का चाहिए, ऐसा चाहिए, तो उसको ये लोग पहले फोटो खींचते हैं। फोटो खींचकर उसको कन्विंस करते हैं कि ये मिलेगा, इतने में मिलेगा, और उसके बाद फिर इसकी प्रक्रिया करते हैं, उठाते हैं, वो या तो यहाँ से ले जाते हैं उसको फेक दिखा करके, रेप्लिका दिखा के, या कुछ भी, या जैसे भी, वो तो उनका अलग अलग तरीका है, उसके लिए अलग अलग एजेंसी है जो कि देखेगी। लेकिन सबसे जो जरूरी चीज है कि इलिसिट ट्रैफिकिंग बहुत तेजी से है, दुनिया में चल रहा है, और उसके कारण आप केवल एक मूर्ति नहीं गंवाते हैं, बल्कि उसके साथ साथ उस जगह का हिस्ट्री भी चला जाता है। जैसे यही देखिए, अब कोई मूर्ति है, अब दीदारगंज की यक्षी, अब दीदारगंज की यक्षी का तो अपना आइकॉनिक वैल्यू है। अच्छा, अब कई चीजें हैं जो सुरक्षा की दृष्टि से उसको प्लग करना है। देखिए डॉक्टर राजेंद्र प्रसाद गैलरी, पटना म्यूजियम, वहां क्या हुआ, और भी कई जगहों में। अभी रिसेंटली इसी साल है हो गया विदेश में है, लोअर्स म्यूजियम में, जो कि हम लोग समझते थे कि वन ऑफ द बेस्ट म्यूजियम। लेकिन इतना जान लीजिए, सुरक्षा 365 दिन 24 घंटे का काम है, और जो ऑफेंडर हैं उनको केवल एक मौका चाहिए, और उनके तरीके भी नायाब रहेंगे। उनको समझना है और उनको केवल सुरक्षा बल लगाने की जरूरत नहीं है। वेल ट्रेन्ड एंड वेल इक्विप्ड सुरक्षा बल से ही इलिसिट ट्रैफिकिंग रुकेगा। और उसके साथ साथ एक अंत में ये मैं कहना चाहता, लोगों को अवेयरनेस, अब ये टेलीविजन का जमाना आ गया, उसमें एक प्रोग्राम कम से कम हर दिन 2 बार जरूर होना चाहिए, जो इतना अच्छा बने कि लोग अवेयर हों अपने आर्कियोलॉजिकल ये हिस्टोरिकल एंड आइकॉन्स के प्रति, क्योंकि कोई भी चीज अगर गुम हो जाएगा, रेप्लिका उसको रिप्लेस नहीं कर सकता। तो इलेक्ट्रॉनिक मीडिया का भी रोल होना चाहिए, क्योंकि लोगों को जानकारी अगर बचपन से देना शुरू करेंगे, लोगों को, बड़े को, सबको, तब उनके प्रति, जैसे म्यूजियम क्या है, म्यूजियम एक मंदिर है, वहां जितनी भी चीजें हैं उसको मंदिर के स्वरूप में उसको मानिएगा, तभी ठीक होगा। और बाकी जो बिखरे पड़े हैं मूर्ति, उसके लिए तो लोगों को अवेयर करना चाहिए, लोकल पुलिस को जागरूक करना चाहिए, क्योंकि इतना बड़ा टास्क फोर्स कब बनेगा ये कह नहीं सकते। धन्यवाद।
थैंक यू सो मच सर। सर, आपने बहुत एक इम्पोर्टेंट मुद्दे को उठाया है, जो कि सिर्फ सिक्योरिटी का ही मुद्दा नहीं है। लोग कहते हैं, जैसे ये कोट मैंने सुना है कि पीपल हु डू नॉट नो देयर हिस्ट्री डूम टू रिपीट इट। सो if the entire history is stolen and sold, then people would never be aware of that history altogether. And how you've talked about the leading cause and how it is leading to the loss of heritage and history completely, and how we need an infrastructure not just for awareness, definitely for awareness, but also an infrastructure to completely uphold the system that can fight off this entire trafficking and trading of important artifacts and things that are that are very relevant to the historical perspective. Thank you so much for giving us that perspective of understanding, because we just see illicit trade, illicit trafficking, but we don't really understand the depth of that particular part. So thank you so much, sir, for that. And now we have come to the conclusion of this entire session.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Yes, so I thank all the speakers for enlightening us with their insightful and enriching research, and to everyone who participated and connected with us throughout the session. Now I request, sir, I think I lost my track, I'm sorry. But I request Sanatan Kumar sir to come and give, I request Sanatan Kumar sir, who is Deputy Director of Rajya Sabha Secretariat, New Delhi, to give presidential remarks. Thank you.
Thank you, Lakhima Shankar Khan. Saram Grahayam Apasya Phalgu. So today we had a very enlightening session. और मतलब जो कहते हैं ना, प्रिसीजन अटैक की बात हमारे प्रधानमंत्री करते हैं, या बहुत चर्चा हुई जो ऑपरेशन सिंदूर में, तो आज भी जो प्रेजेंटेशन था उसमें इतना प्रिसीजन था, इट वाज सो एडिक्वेट, ना तो बहुत ज्यादा ना तो कम, नपा तुला, और the speakers were so impressive. और जो इश्यूज रेज किए गए वो लोकल इंपॉर्टेंस के नहीं हैं, they are not restricted or confined to some locale, rather they are very much significant for the national as well as global arena. और जो let me begin with Captain Pran Ranjan Prasad ji. I will move from the last to the first. So today you have highlighted such an issue, वहां पे हमारा ध्यान बहुत जाता नहीं है, और उसमें आपने you very well pointed out that there is much need for giving importance to security so far as our archaeological heritage, our cultural heritage is concerned. मैं सोच रहा था कि एक कैप्टन, एक आर्मी ऑफिसर और एक जो वहां पे सिक्योरिटी ऑफिसर है, what has he to do with these archaeological connotations? And but you justified your role, you justified your role in your or you so much so well coordinated your service which you are rendering to the nation, you have rendered to the nation, you are rendering to the archaeological department, and the topic you have chosen. सो बहुत अच्छा आपने कहा कि और इस पे बड़ा ध्यान देने की जरूरत है, और कितना सुंदर कहा कि मूर्ति मूर्ति नहीं है, वो एक पूरा इतिहास है। सो इस पर बहुत ध्यान देने की जरूरत है, और मुझे लगता है कि दिस मैसेज विल बी डिसेमिनेटेड टू द अथॉरिटीज, और जो हमारा जो लेजिस्लेचर है वो उस वहां तक भी ये बातें जानी चाहिए कि इंटेलेक्चुअल प्रॉपर्टी राइट्स है हमारे यहाँ, तो कल्चरल प्रॉपर्टी राइट्स, आर्कियोलॉजिकल प्रॉपर्टी राइट्स वो कहीं बहुत ज्यादा जरूरी है। हमारे यहाँ भी लैक इन डॉक्यूमेंटेशन एंड ऑफ कोर्स फॉर दैट रीजन डिसेमिनेशन ऑल्सो। यही तो एक कॉन्ट्राडिक्शन है, हमारा हेरिटेज इतना रिच है। अभी हम लोग जो बिहार के हेरिटेज पे बात कर रहे हैं, बहुत अच्छा सारे जो स्कॉलर्स है दे हैव वेरी वेल प्रेजेंटेड, आजाद, हिंद, गुलशन। योर लेक्चर वाज सो स्कॉलरली, so comprehensive and so enlightening. I learned a lot, and this was so insightful, as the moderator of the day has also highlighted. So we are very much indebted to your insightful lectures. Let me congratulate all of you and wish you all the best. And so far as Namrata is Dr. Namrata Kumari is concerned, so I was a little bit more interested, because I have intermediated from BN College. I have done my intermediate from BN College, so you are there. I'm glad to know. और बहुत अच्छा नम्रता जी ने भी जो बातें कही कि जंगल और जमीन की बात, और कैसे जो हमारा जो जनजातीय जो ट्राइबल हेरिटेज है वो उससे बहुत कुछ सीखने की जरूरत है। व्हेन वी हैव एनवायरमेंटल मीनस, particularly who I'm in Delhi, speaking from Delhi, crossing AQI, the 400, the hazardous 400 AQI index. So we are facing the menace. So वो बहुत कुछ सीखने की जरूरत है, और कितना मतलब हम लोग इतने हल्के में लेते हैं उनको, और कैसे उनको और प्रोत्साहित करने की जरूरत है। Thankfully we have a sincere leader, I would rather say sincere leadership, who is focusing on the tribal heritage. उनको encourage भी सरकार कर रही है, और आगे भी करती रहेगी। हम सेलिब्रेट अभी मुंडा, थारू और उराऊ की जो बात उन्होंने कही, और अजीत कुमार जी, रिसर्च स्कॉलर, Madhubani painting. The entire ramifications or so many dimensions you have highlighted, you have pointed out, sketching the history, as back as और वो वहां से लेकर के अभी वो कैसे ग्लोबल हो गया, उसके ग्लोबल सिग्निफिकेंस कितना है उसका मधुबनी पेंटिंग का, and you dealt with symbolism so well. So I have learned a lot today from all of you. So let me see. I have now the first scholar, Dr. Arabinda Singla Roy. I felt that I'm living in, of course, virtually living in the undivided Bengal presidency. So you are so keenly aware and interested about the heritage in Bihar, so far as Champaran is concerned, so far as every area you touched upon. We have a time crunch, and I think I have touched upon all the scholars, and the anchor of the day moderated so well. So once again, I congratulate you, all of you. And one thing I felt that for Heritage Society, I first of all let me thank Dr. Ananta Shutosh Dwivedi. Let me appreciate or have we should give him an applause, a big applause for the the service he's not only rendering to the heritage of Bihar or heritage of India, but of course it's a service to the nation. It's culture, as we have understood in through the sessions today also. Can we have documentaries? Can Heritage Society? I think we have the Heritage Society has enunciated or let forward to make some documentary. But we should. I think even the speakers of today, I would request all of you, suggest also that let's have more and more documentaries. Your presentations are so well. So can we have documentaries? The first scholar and Gulshan Nanda also, and everyone has experiential or research oriented presentation today. So we can have this also. We can also have this in a documentary form. So so that it can go abroad, and this should be, or this is the uniqueness of Bihar heritage. The combative spirit we all represent, we all embody. Thank you once again, all of you, and thanks to the Heritage Society and the SS College, I think. So thanks for your noble enterprise, and I hope you will be going on and on, Charai Veti. So thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your suggestion, your vital and very important suggestion, as well as your very analytical remarks for all the speakers, as well for me. And now I would also request, and I would thank, Anand Ashutosh Trivedi ji to give me this platform to moderate this insightful and amazing session. And I request everyone to please proceed to our next session, which begins at 3:30 p.m. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.